That's right, it's Black History Month. That's what time it is. And we're going to hit y'all with some history today. Our story. So you pass this on to your kids. You know, it's 14 black inventors you probably didn't know about. So, I mean, you always hear the stories about, George Washington Carver, Madam C.J. Walker, stuff like that. But did you know that many of the products you use every day, every single day, were created by black people? And here's a list of 14 inventors and some of the products that they invented. Dr. Shirley Jackson, one of my favorites, she's right now she's the dean of MIT, and she's Dr. Shirley Jackson is an American physicist who received her PhD from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in 1973, and today she's the dean of MIT. But her experiments with theoretical physics paved the way for numerous developments in telecommunication space, including the one-touch telephone, the touch-tone phone, the portable fax machine, caller ID, call waiting, and fiber optics. What I'm talking to you over right now, fiber optics. So, it's what they say right now, she's also the 18th president of a Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Troy, New York. Yeah, she's a hero of mine. I've been following her for a while, and especially when I discovered that she was, she's still living, and she had created the fax machine, caller ID, call waiting, the touch-tone telephone, and fiber optics. Oh man, yeah, she's one new age entrepreneur and thinker, big time thinker. Lewis Latimer, inventor and draftsman. Lewis Latimer, an engineer. Lewis Latimer, here's another one of my favorites. Born in Chelsea, Massachusetts in 1848, he collaborated with science greats from Hiram Maxim and Thomas Edison. One of Latimer's greatest inventions was the carbon filament. Now get this, the carbon filament, a vital component of the light bulb. That's right, you heard what I said. Lewis Latimer invented the carbon filament for the light bulb. His inventions didn't stop there. Working with Alexander Graham Bell, Latimer helped draft the patent for Graham Bell's design for the telephone. This genius also designed an improved railroad car bathroom and an early air conditioning unit. So the time you're escaping a hot day inside your cool house, don't forget it was a black man named Lewis Latimer that invented the air conditioner. Thank God for that. All right. Marie Van Britten Brown. Did you know that the first home security system was invented by a black nurse? Although she was a full-time nurse, she recognized the security threats to her home and devised a system that could alert her of strangers at her door and contact relevant authorities quickly as possible. Her original invention consisted of peepholes, a camera, monitors, and a two-way microphone. The finishing touch was an alarm button that, when pressed, would immediately contact police. Her patent laid the groundwork for the modern closed-circuit television system that is widely used for surveillance, home security systems, push-button alarm triggers, crime prevention, and traffic monitoring. So right on there, sister. And got Otis Boykins. One of the most notable contributions to science was likely the circuit improvements he made to pacemakers after losing his mother to heart failure, a contribution that has saved countless lives since. But this single improvement was among the long list of achievements. Boykin had 26 patents in his name and is famed for the development of IBM computers, burglar-proof cash register, chemical air filters, and an electronic resistor used in controlled missiles and other devices. So black people got some serious inventions, man. Lonnie G. Johnson, and all the little kids are going to know who this is. Did you imagine ever having a water gun fight as a kid? Well, meet Lonnie Johnson, the man that gave us the most famous water gun in the world, the Super Soaker. That's right. Now, he wasn't a toy maker. He actually was an aerospace engineer for NASA with the resume boasting a stint in the U.S. Air Force, work on the Galileo Jupiter probe and Mars Observer project, and more than 40 patents. He is also working on the Johnson thermoelectric energy converter, which converts heat directly into electricity. But it's the squirt gun that has given us all the most joy. Dr. Charles Drew. Every 2 seconds in the United States, someone needs blood. Thanks to Charles Drew, that blood is available. Charles Drew was a physician, surgeon, and medical researcher who worked with a team at Red Cross on groundbreaking discoveries around blood transfusion. In World War II, he played a major role in developing the first large-scale blood banks and blood plasma programs. He also invented, and get ready because his name is the name is pretty charming, the Bloodmobile. These are refrigerated trucks that to this day safely transport stored blood to the location where it is most needed. So Drew was one of the most prominent doctors working in this field and one of the only African Americans during a time when blood donations were still separated along lines of race. Drew eventually resigned from his position with the American Red Cross over their insistence on adhering to this policy. It was in 1950 that the Red Cross finally recognized as all blood as being equal. In 2013, Marion Croak was inducted to the Women in Technology International's Hall of Fame, a move that recognizes her remarkable achievements in technology. Croak holds over 135 patents, primarily in voice-over internet protocol and some other areas. She has over 100 patents currently under review. Today, Miriam is a senior vice president at AT&T, serves as a mentor for women in AT&T labs, and sit on the board for the Holocaust, Genocide, and Human Rights Education Center. If you ever enjoyed an animated GIF on the web, you know, those GIFs that move around, it's like a picture, but it moves. This is the amazing clip of a cat chasing a lizard, and the lady's name was Lisa Golepter, and vice president of BET. Yeah. Previously, Lisa is the head interim of digital for BET Networks and ran technology, product and business operations. Today, you can catch Lisa at the White House in the United States Digital Service. She is currently serving as the Chief Digital Service Officer with the U.S. Department of Education. And here's Philip Emeagwali. Due to cost, Philip Emeagwali was forced to drop out of school at age 14, but this didn't stop him from becoming one of the greatest computer pioneers of our time. In fact, he's often called the Bill Gates of Africa. As an adult, Emeagwali began studying nature, specifically bees. The construction of the honeycomb inspired him to rethink computer processing. In 1989, he put his idea to work, using 65,000 processors to invent the world's first supercomputer, able to perform 3.1 billion calculations per second. And here's the next brilliant inventor here. Jesse Ernest Wilkins Jr. is one of America's most important contemporary mathematicians. At age 13, he became the University of Chicago's youngest student. Wilkins continued his studies there, earning a bachelor's, master's, and eventually earning his doctorate degree in mathematics by age 19. He published papers in mathematics, optics, and nuclear engineering as a mathematician for the American Optical Company in Buffalo, New York. He perfected lens design for microscopes and other uses. His greatest contribution to scholarship was the development of mathematical models to explain gamma radiation and his work on developing a shielding against gamma radiation. His other claim to fame came from working on the Manhattan Project. At the Manhattan Project, Wilkins worked with the future Nobel laureate Eugene Wigner and made significant contributions to nuclear reactor physics, now known as the Wilkins effect, and the Wigner-Wilkins spectrum. Elijah McCoy, if everybody heard that phrase called the real McCoy, so often regarded as one of the most famous black inventors ever. McCoy was credited to over 50 inventions over the span of his career. In an effort to improve efficiency and eliminate the frequent stopping and necessary for lubricating of trains, McCoy devised a method of automating the task. In 1872, he developed a lubricating cup that could automatically drip oil when and where needed. Vital in avoiding sticking to the track, the lubricating cup met with enormous success, and orders came in from railroad companies all over the world. It was so popular that when other inventors attempted to steal his idea and sell their own versions of the device, companies were not fooled. They insisted on the authentic device, calling it the real McCoy. Here we go. Garrett Morgan. Those who survived either the World Wars thanks to the gas mask have Garrett Morgan to thank. Morgan created the first safety hood to help firefighters navigate smoky buildings, later modifying it to carry its own air supply, making it the world's first effective gas mask. He also had the good sense to add a third position to the traffic signal. Yes, there was a time when traffic signals only had stop and go, so he created the yellow yield sign on the traffic sign. So he basically created the modern traffic sign. And as a side note, at one time, when after he created the safety hood for firefighters to go inside smoky buildings, a lot of white firefighters, once they found out that the black man had created it, they didn't want to use it, even if it was something that could save their lives, and they knew it worked. So basically, what they did was they basically had this white guy come up with another design using his initial design, just changed it just a little bit, repatented it, and so they like, oh, we're safer using this white guy's invention. It was still the same invention. So a lot of that goes on, especially in this country here, boy, where they just steal your ideas and run with them and try to go to rush down to the patent office and put their name on it. Mary and Mildred Davidson, inventors. Mary and her sister Mildred patented many practical inventions. They didn't have technical education, but they were both exceptional at spotting ways to make people's lives better. Together, they invented the sanitary belt. Later, Mary invented a moisture-resistant pocket for the belt while disabled from multiple sclerosis. Mary went on to invent the walker and the toilet tissue holder. So these are some practical things that people use on a daily basis, and some of these things actually save lives that black people invented, So hey, we and these are things you need to tell your kids about. Don't keep this information from them. They need to know that about these black inventions, like the vacuum cleaner, the modern toilet, the mop, the broom. These are just some of the everyday things you use every day that you don't even realize that black people invented. All right. History lesson number 1. KP's Video News. KP's Video. That's right. It's KP Video News. KP's Video News, y'all. Peace.